Hello everyone, welcome. Today's video is a tutorial for my current go-to confidence boosting makeup look. I started uploading these confidence boosting makeup tutorials around my birthday 5 years ago. The first one I posted was titled Feelin' Great at 48. I decided to rewatch that first video as I am about to turn 53 years old in a couple of weeks. And I thought to myself two things. Number one, I'm still holding up pretty well thanks to all the great skincare I use and my makeup skills. And the second thought I had was, whoa, Risa of 5 years ago does not yet know how much worse things are going to get. But we're not going to go down that road today. Today is all about positivity and showing you the makeup look that I do on myself time and time again that gives me the most confidence. I feel like it is the most flattering for my eye shape, my face shape. If you know me at all, you know that age really doesn't come into play for me. I still wear shimmer on my eyes. I still wear lip gloss. I still like a more matte finish because I do have oily skin. And the entire look begins with my skin prep. Last month when I posted my Sephora sale recommendations video, I did mention that I didn't purchase most of my skincare from Sephora because I was mainly using K-beauty brands. And a lot of people asked me to share what those brands were. Well, as of right now, my skincare routine is predominantly a brand that I had partnered with in the past called Mimois. And I think the first time I spoke about them was back in February. I had been testing out their Niacindy Radiance Cream, their Dark Spot Ampule, and their Volume Up Time Block Serum. So when they reached out wanting to partner again, I asked if I could try the entire Volume Up system. So in addition to the Volume Up Time Block Serum, they also make the Time Block Toning Essence, a Time Block Cream, and also the Time Block 100% Volufiline oil. Now, because I have oily skin, I'm not going to use every step right now because if I layer everything during the day, it's just too much. So I keep it really simple in the morning and then use richer products at night. So first I am shaking up the toning essence. This contains 1% Volufiline and 5% beta-glucan. It also contains marine algae extract, which is full of antioxidants. It's great for those who just want to start incorporating Volufiline into their routine. Volufiline acts as a topical filler. It plumps the skin by enhancing lipid density, making it popular for targeting volume loss around the eyes, cheeks, and lips. And 5% is actually the optimum concentration. And then beta-glucan is amazing because it is 20% more hydrating than hyaluronic acid, but it's also really soothing. Then for under my makeup, I go into the Time Block Serum. This is a simple yet optimal blend to plump and hydrate the skin. So even if you have sensitive skin, rosacea, eczema, it's one of those ingredients that hydrates while calming your skin. Now, I'm going to skip the oil for daytime, but this is 100% Volufiline oil. And you can mix this into whatever you are already using. If you have oily skin like me, I would mix a drop into, say, a brightening serum instead of layering it on top. And at night, I actually swap out the serum for the moisturizer. That's what really seals everything in and helps your skin look more refreshed by morning. You're not gonna see dramatic changes right away, but what you will see is that plumpness, that hydration. Your skin is going to look healthier, which in turn, I don't know about you, but makes me feel more confident. And yes, this is enough skin prep for me having oily skin and going into the summer months. I just saw that we were hitting the triple digits here in Las Vegas in a few days. Of course, I will have the link to all of these products down below in the description box. And I truly think you are going to love Mimois products. Oh, I almost forgot. I always begin my going out look or my filming look or my confidence boosting look with my Lumify eye drops. I do not use these every single day, but I do use them before filming and before going out. They make such a difference. And I am starting off this look with my eyes. I decided that today I wanted to use a good mix of my favorite high-end products as well as my favorite affordable products. The reason why I update this video every single year is because I like to update the look a little bit, and I like to update the products that I reach for the most. I have been showing a lot of love lately to this ColourPop Stone Cold Fox palette. It is simply gorgeous, and I can truly do any type of eye look with that palette. But before I can do any eye look, I have to prep my lids. And for that, I just use the tiniest amount of concealer and blend out. I cover my entire lid from lash line to brow. I'm using the Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush concealer, and a little bit goes such a long way, so you have to be careful that you don't overload the lid with too much concealer. You want just enough to even out any discoloration on the lid. I have been playing with the lighting and my camera settings, so hopefully not too warm toned in this video. I certainly don't want to look jaundiced. Now I'm using a Nikki LaRose N14 brush, and I'm just grabbing any loose powder. I happen to have this one from Nude by Nature sitting here. So I'm going to tap off the excess. Woo, I didn't realize that had so much dust. Dust, is that called dust? No. All right, setting the eye prep so we can move into adding some shadow. I mentioned earlier that I had gone back and watched my video from 5 years ago. I've actually been going back and watching a lot of my old videos just to see how I was doing my makeup back then. What have I changed since? What am I doing differently? And one of the techniques I showed in an older video is starting the eye look with an eye pencil instead of an eyeshadow. So today I'm taking this creamy eye pencil from Sarah Creel, and I am carving out the eye shape first. I'm doing a wing, and then do you see where I have a slight indentation? My eyes are hooded, but I do have a slight indentation right here. So I'm going to use that as my guide to blend inwards, or to draw a line inwards, and then connect to that outer wing. I do apologize for turning to the side when I do these videos. I recently had somebody comment that she was very unhappy that I turn my head to the side in order to, or when I do my makeup tutorials. Well, I know I've explained this before, but I will explain it again. Oh, by the way, I'm using the brush that is on the other end of this pencil just to smoke everything out or soften the pencil. I have very poor eyesight, a lot worse than it was even 5 years ago. So in order for me to see what I'm doing and teach you, I have to have a very large magnified mirror. The one I use is by Ilios, but because the mirror is so large, I can't put it directly in front of me. If I put it directly in front of me, it's going to cover the camera. And there is just honestly no way. Trust me, I have tried to configure things differently so that I could be more forward, and it just doesn't work. So I'm making a conscious effort to keep looking forward at least. Now for this tutorial, I'm just going to do one eye at a time just to make sure this video isn't crazy long, but you can see what things are looking like now. Not great, but I promise you, it's going to look amazing when we're done. Now I'm using a BK Beauty Nikki LaRose N13 brush. I'm picking up the shade Quarry Days, which is a light to medium toned neutral taupe. And I am just blending through that crease and a little bit higher. I'm looking directly into the mirror, well, in this case, the viewfinder, and I am pressing into where my crease would be if my eyes weren't hooded. So we're just building up, blend, 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 and don't worry about taking it too far out and up because we're going to clean up this area right here. Taking a smaller pencil brush, this is the BK Beauty 210, I'm picking up a darker brown, similar to what's in the crease already, called Fickle Feet. Fickle Feet. No. Fickle Fate. That's what happens when I don't put on my glasses. Remember, I said my eyesight was not good? So, we're placing that now right where we applied the pencil. Back and forth, back and forth. And then also on the outer corner. Now don't worry if this looks dark, because we're going to blend. Going back in with that first brush and the first shade we used, and softening. Now we're using that same brush that we used for the dark brown, but we're going into a lighter shade called Ghost Town and softening up those edges. And then you want to take a clean flat brush and pick up the shade Trip and dust that over the very top of everything. You don't want to take it all the way up to the brow, just underneath. Remember how I said I didn't shy away from shimmer, even at age 53? Well, I'm about to prove it right now. I'm going to take my finger and pick up the shade Mystery and tap that right onto the center of my mobile lid. Okay, I hate to do this, but I think I'm going to switch to a voiceover because, as luck would have it, someone is outside not doing yard work, but doing some work on the inside of their house. So they're outside of the house, like hammering and sawing, and I can get rid of background noise somewhat, but a lot of you listen with your headphones on, and I do not want you to be hearing any knocking in the background. So I'm going to switch to a voiceover, and then hopefully by the time I'm done, I can come back and close out this video talking in real time. So now I'm taking a small domed eyeliner brush and running a combination of both the dark brown and black from the palette along my upper lash lines as close to the base of the lashes as possible. And then also ever so slightly onto the outer corner, creating a baby wing. Then I take some eye makeup remover or micellar water on a cotton pad, fold that in half, and clean up underneath my eyes. And then I'm curling my lashes, tight lining with that same Sarah Creel eye pencil that I used earlier, and then I apply mascara. For my base, I'm using two of my tried and true skin perfecting products, ideal for oily skin with large pores and texture. This is the Hourglass Vanish Airbrush Primer, topped with the Hourglass Ambient Soft Glow Foundation. After I apply foundation to my entire face, I like to take a Stands Out sponge, used dry, and press that all over in order to pick up any excess foundation. I recently started using this LYS bronzing stick. I've had it in my stash for a while, and for some reason, I just haven't reached for it. But before I apply it, I place a good amount onto the back of my hand first to warm it up, and then using my fingers to apply it where I would like to contour and bronze, because I feel like it just gives me a lot more control than just applying it straight from the stick. And I'm using my favorite IT Cosmetics Heavenly Luxe brush number 7 to blend everything out. For my cheeks, I'm using one of my favorite new product launches of the year, Maybelline's Cloudtopia. This is the shade Pink Daydream, and please do not be concerned that this blush is looking super bright, because once I apply my concealer, it will get toned down a lot. And to conceal my under eyes, I'm going back in with that Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Concealer. This is a highly concentrated product, so 2 dots is more than enough to cover the entire eye area. And then to set my under eye concealer as well as my T-zone, I'm using my tried and true Charlotte Tilbury Airbrush Flawless Pressed Powder in shade 1. Then I set my contour / bronzing cream with this Say Beauty bronzer. I find it to be very blurring and a very beautiful shade for my skin tone. And then unfortunately I forgot to show the product here, but I'm going over the Maybelline Cream Blush with the NYX Buttermelt in Butta Together. I love that this shade has a bit of glow to it, and I find when I use this, I really don't need to add any highlighter. After that, I'm going back to my eyes and softly smudging shadow along the lower lash line. And then using this fantastic teeny tiny eyeliner brush from Rephr, I am taking the darkest brown from the palette and just pressing that right along my lower lash line, just at the base of the lashes, really tight up to the lash line. And then I'm adding just a little shimmer to the inner corners of my eyes. Then I blend everything together using the One Size Powder Melt Spray. For my brows, I'm filling them in with the Charlotte Tilbury Eyebrow Pencil in Taupe. Followed by Maybelline Super Lock Brow Glue, just in the clear shade. For my lip combo, I have been loving using the Anastasia Beverly Hills Lip Pencil in Deep Taupe. Followed by Charlotte Tilbury's Lipstick in Pillow Talk Fair. And I top it off with this gorgeous Chanel Rouge Coco Gloss in shade 728. And then I decided to give in to my blush blindness and added a little bit more of the Maybelline Cloudtopia blush. And this is my go-to confidence boosting makeup look, consisting of a soft smoky eye, flushed pink cheeks with a bit of glow, and of course a nude pink lip. And the noise seems to have stopped outside. I think perhaps they went on a lunch break. So I would like to close out this video before they start up again. I did add some Ardell Demi Wispies just to the outer corners of my eyes. And now I'm going to lock everything down with the Say City Set setting spray. I pretty much just rotate setting sprays depending on what I'm doing. Like if I know I'm going to be outdoors or somewhere where it might be warmer, I'll use a mattifying setting spray. But on a day where I don't have to worry about being excessively sweaty or oily, I do like this one from Say. It's very lightweight and it doesn't leave my skin too dewy nor too matte. So this is 100% the makeup look I go for when I want to look and feel my best. I will more than likely be recreating this look again, honestly using these exact products for my birthday night out in a few weeks. In this video, I did use several products that I have recently strayed away from just because newer products have been released and I've been testing those out. But when it comes to the base makeup, like the foundation and the primer, if you know, you know. I've been raving about the Hourglass Ambient Soft Glow and the Vanish Primer for several years. When it comes to skin prep, some of the Mimois products I've been using since January, others I've been using since about more like late March, I started using the Volume Up system. As always, I will have every product and shade name listed and linked down below in the description box, as well as tagged through YouTube Shopping if available. If you have any questions at all, please do not hesitate to leave them for me in the comments. I do try to answer as many questions as I can. If you did enjoy this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you are not already subscribed to my channel, I hope that you will consider doing so. I do upload new videos at least twice per week. You can also find more content from me over on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. My username is the same on every platform. It's Risa Does Makeup. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you in my next video. Cheers to 53 years.